Good morning. In this lesson, you are going to start programming using a language called JavaScript. So just to give you some background, why JavaScript? Well, first, JavaScript runs on any web browser, so you don't need additional tools or any kind of software to make it run. It runs automatically with the web browsers that you use. Secondly, it's used for almost all websites, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. There's a lot of pre-written code for JavaScript, and again, we're going to talk about this in future lessons, but uh, folks out on the internet have written code for JavaScript for other people to use, and so it's become like this large community that writes code for this language. There's something called front end and back end ability with JavaScript. So the front end is what you see on a web page. So when you log in to any site, you see some JavaScript functionality there already, whether it's like a login button or like a shopping cart or the ability to place items in a shopping cart. Like that's front end stuff. That's the stuff that you see. The back end stuff is when you log in and then JavaScript is able to go to a database and say, hey, is this person supposed to be able to log in? What's this person's password? What are this person's user preferences and settings? And so JavaScript has the ability to do both things, whereas other languages can only do one or another. We are going to be using JavaScript for future projects at Latin, most notably like the American Studies app design project. You're going to use JavaScript. And last but not least, tons of companies use JavaScript. Companies like Netflix, PayPal, Uber, their sites are built almost entirely using JavaScript. So before we begin, you should know that as far as some expectations, that you need to AWOF and SWOS. You need to ask without fear. When you're stuck on something, ask a question, ask your neighbor. Don't feel stuck, don't feel dumb in asking a question. You also need to SWOS. You need to share without snootiness. People will need help, and it's your job to help your neighbor. Make sure that one another understand different levels and lessons as we go on. You should know that in programming, it's similar to like writing an essay. The first thing that you write shouldn't be the final thing. You might get your code right the first time, but it's normal if you mess up the first time. That's totally normal and fine. You will revise and debug your code to make it work in the future. As far as grading is concerned, I will assign certain lessons for you to complete. And within those lessons, I'll show you how the levels are going to be graded. And there's many times where we're going to be watching videos or things in the midst of the lesson. So you'll need to half close your laptop, not continue to work, watch the video with us, and then you'll go on and continue on your own. So how do you log in? You should know that this platform that we're going to use will not work on an iPad. So if you're working at school, you need to grab a laptop. If you're working at home, you need to use it on a desktop or laptop. Once you grab a laptop from the cart, you will get a login sheet. I need you to take a picture of that login sheet on your iPad. Please don't forget to do that so that you have your login information going forward. And then how do you get to this website? Well, you're going to need to go to RomanNet, go to the CS page, and under links, you'll see something that says code.org login. You'll find your name and enter the passwords that will be provided. So on your login sheet, it's going to look something like this. It says visit this page, but again, just ignore these two lines. You're going to go directly from RomanNet. That's going to ensure that all your stuff saves. And then what are you looking for as far as password? This last line right here has your password. So again, get your sheet, take a picture of it, and let me show you now how to log in. So I'll go to RomanNet, and I will go to the links page, and I'll see the code.org login. You'll find your name from the list, whichever name is yours, and then you'll put in your secret words. So once you click on your name, it asks you for your secret words. It is case sensitive, so make sure that you put it in lowercase. And once you click sign in, it'll take you to this course called Computer Science Discoveries, which is made by an organization called code.org. Like I said, each week you will have certain lessons assigned to you, and you can see that this week I've assigned lesson 3 and lesson 4, and each lesson has a bunch of different levels, and your job is to complete the levels by going through them. So I'll start with lesson 3, level 1, and it'll give you some information, just an overview, and when you click continue, the bubbles or the level markers at the top will turn green. Once you get to something like this, it gives you instructions right here, and then it tells you what to do right here. So in this level, it says, look at the line of code and discuss with your partner where you think the shape will be drawn. And then click run the program to see what happens. So if you click run, it has a shape that's drawn. You can click between blocks and text mode, whichever you prefer. And then it says ultimately you need to change the numbers to try to get the rectangle near the bottom right of the screen. So again, whether you want to do that in text or block mode, you'll change the numbers, click reset, run it. And once you get it to the bottom right, you'll click finish, and then you'll click continue. The videos here we're going to watch as a class, so you can just click continue through the videos. And then again, read the level instructions, read the do this part of the section, and then run. The one thing that I wanted to show you is if you lose your play, if you can actually click run and finish, and it'll show that you've actually gone through, but I'm going to go back through to make sure that you actually did the lessons or the levels, so make sure that you're actually doing them. Also, if you click this more, you can see all of the levels and all the lessons that were assigned to you. So you were assigned to lesson 3 and lesson 4, so you can easily navigate there. So your job for this week is to complete lesson 3, levels 1 through 9. And you also need to complete a lesson extra. Here's where the lesson extra is. So you're going to complete levels 1 through 9. The lesson extra is right here. You can do any one of these. It doesn't matter to me. Once you try it, you've just got to recreate that shape. And so you'll complete any one of those. And then you'll go on to lesson 4, and you'll complete levels 1 through 12. So once you're done with the lesson extra, complete levels 1 through 12. You don't have to do the lesson extra in lesson 4. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, go ahead and get started.